Good evening, everyone. System Chalk here with the 19th episode of what will be the story of Harold Abelson. I just wanted to very quickly address the end of the previous video. So it seems that there was a technical error. Now, normally when the recording software crashes or there's otherwise an interruption in the recording, that will normally mean that the video is dead, that I will need to re-record it. Fortunately, I was able to save the substance of the playthrough, but it did mean that the ending was quite abrupt. Now, I don't know what happened to my save. Actually, we're going to find that out when we hit continue together, but I just wanted to say, as far as I can tell, well, if anything, the video, or the playthrough will repeat a few steps that we've done. But I wanted to apologize. Normally I do a proper, proper goodbye and all of that. Anyways, let's carry on with the playthrough. Where were we? All right, so we're going... Oh, we were going to go through the white door. Seems like that wasn't ready to go, so let's head back. In my dreams, I know the path through the white door through the bounds, but that path is thronged with the dead who pass that way. I will need health to resist their chill. Now I can approach the white door through the bounds. Now I can press my fingers to it, feel its chill, watch it swing open. As it opens, my mouth closes, tightens, heals over like a lost deformity. Around and about me is the cobalt light of the mantis. Okay, so we're still following through on leads in the in the Shire, and in 6.5. Yeah, 6.5 seconds, we'll find out whether or not I have created a problem for myself. I did potentially generate another notoriety with this. Ooh, another mystique. Okay, so we're still 20.7. There's going to be likely another exaltation that comes as a result of the this service. But so far, I've been doing an okay job of dodging consequences. I'd interrupt the service partway through, to be completely honest at this point, but... Okay, so I've got both an expiring percussagant and an expiring hint. I've got a couple of ideas about how to handle both. Okay, so there is another exaltation. In 30 seconds we'll find out whether or not there is consequence. At last their fervor is spent. What have they made of this night? So if I get a notoriety out of this, it's very hard to complain. I've really been pushing my luck here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the Sunset Rite. I'm going to actually use the Offering of Fascination. In this case, the hint's going to be the... Whoa, no. Let's bring some knock in that. The hint was once a living mortal and then a dead one, and now it's something else. Their summoning requires lantern for the light which drew them to the mantis, and edge for the striving they've endured in mirrors. Actually, sorry, I don't want to do that yet. What I will do, though, is I will still do the Sunset Rite, but I will do that with the percussagant. The percussagant, merciless and merry, heart will bring it, edge will constrain it. So the reason why I'm doing this with the percussagant is on the odd chance that I have the sort of the summoning resist. What I can do in that situation, I have a little more flexibility with the hint, so I'm going to keep it around. Okay, so we've got Karashim here. This place merits closer investigation. Now, normally I would probably use this Forgotten Chronicle to get another location, but let's get the hint searching the city for now. It's just a nice little chance for me to, keep it around without sacrificing too much. So, crowded thoroughfares by day, a fog-wrapped labyrinth by night. I'll set my minions to searching for opportunities. Plus, it's kind of a little more credible to imagine a hint sort of sliding through the city, seeing what's going on, rather than a percussagant dancing its way down the main street. Okay, so we've got a minute. Again, I suspect... Actually, it'll be interesting if we generate reputation out of this. It'll be interesting to see whether or not the... this verb kind of gets the scoop. I guess we'll find out in a few seconds. Whew, I am a lucky devil. The congregation has donated generously, and they haven't limited those donations to the collection plate. Okay, so 34 seconds and we'll be in the clear. Let's try the Orchard of Lights again. Okay, pulsing airs. A rising power, a reassuring energy. The hours have been called unmerciful, but they permit they permit sleepers sometimes to walk in the Orchard of Lights, where each fruit glows like a sunset, where the roots of the trees are shaped for peaceful rest, where the mist soothes the heart. I was there last night, and the taste of the fruit lingers, sharp and sweet as the passage of spring to summer. We'll head straight back to the White Door. Again, we're really just trying to get Forgotten Chronicles where I can. I've increased my knowledge of the secret histories behind the ones we know. So we've got 4 that I could use as an input, and unfortunately not much else for me to do with my study verb right now. I suppose I could try moving up the red secret, though. So that's going to require glimmering, which I have, but won't be able to use. I do have an erudition kicking around, so if I would like to move my Watchman's Secret up, that's probably my best bet. So I guess the question is this one of these cases where I would want to hang on to all of my lore? Nah, let's make the most of what we've got. So there's a proverb among the practitioners of the invisible arts. Glory visits the house without walls. I would like to know about glory. I'm actually tempted to just jump straight into another expedition and not worry about resummoning the hint. Optimism is the spice that saves. Okay, let's think about what I want to do with the talk verb right now, because we don't really have any reputation to worry about. I could talk about... No, you know what? Let's just keep it as is. I would eventually like to do some painting, but... we'll see what the rest of the kind of the work and the painting and all of that can do. All right, summoning a rebellious spirit. So let's just use the reason to get rid of it. Pronounce the words of dismissal, seal the circle tight, erase every trace. So I think in this case, after 25 seconds, we'll just, I think we're just going to leave things be. Better not. I must be careful of the company I keep. So 16 seconds, we'll just follow through on another expedition. We'll go to St. Agnes Hospital in this case. One part pumps more strongly today. And looks like we've actually got an opportunity for a painting coming up, so I should feel pretty good about that. And another season of ambitions coming up. So I'm going to send Clovette to deal with our reputation when the time comes. Trembling airs. There's a percussivant. Okay, so St. Agnes Hospital. They did good work here once. Certainly there were a few too many amputations, but then there are individuals one would prefer not to walk the city streets. So again, we send the hint and the percussivant. Only echoes walk the hospital halls now, but malice lingers in the air. We must search meticulously room by room. And we're not quite ready to use the painting yet, but we'll get there. Orchard? Nuts. Light dews the skin and suffuses the air. The invisible arts, Christopher Lopoli is said to have remarked, as profitable as macrame, as ethical as tobacco smuggling, and in general as beneficial as roulette. Still, there's always the Orchard of Lights, and indeed, the orchard, with its glowing fruit and peaceful mist, is a place to be yearned for. Last night, I walked there in the peaceful hours of the deep night. Even after waking, I still carry with me a little of the glory of the old sun. Okay, so we're waiting on the painting, but no reason to hold off going back to the White Door. And we need erudition. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and they've found no new clues. So this is going to get a little troublesome as far as dealing with my reputation. But in this case here, I want to try and annihilate the staleness. That'll have consequences, but we'll do our best. I think I'll actually get Clovette warmed up for the job. Expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I could add funds now, or I could send another follower. Okay, it's the Dry Soul Curse. We need Heart or Lantern to suppress this curse. Otherwise, it will not keep us from our goal, but it may trouble us later. So let's get Pope Clifton on the job. I think I'm going to keep my money for now. This is really about getting rid of staleness more than anything. The reputation's just an unfortunate byproduct at this point. Okay, so that's going to go into another painting, and of course it's another season of suspicion. So this is, I think this might be one where we get caught. Well, better than the fascination, I suppose, but we're gonna have some fascination sooner or later. Okay, so it's getting a bit unlucky for us over here. Let's go and so one thing I could do to avoid the avoid the season of suspicion is talk with the weary detective, but I don't really think that's a solution. So we will carry on as we have before. Just keep heading back to the door, and when we generate notoriety, we deal with it the way we normally have. In this case, maybe we just keep pursuing more and more mystique to drown the investigation. So 2 mystique to start with. I've got a glimmering, so if I want to move up the grail, I'm going to be able to do that with the study verb. Oh, sorry, 3 mystique. That's good. We have only got 1 staleness now, and I mean 1 fun, so it's okay. It's not, I'm not clicking my heels over it or anything. But let's go and this is probably less like. No, sorry, I gotta wait 4 seconds. Okay, that's fine. All right. As yet, I have only the needs and desires of any other mortal, but what stirs in me? So this may not help my staleness, but I do want to get rid of the restlessness. We call upon the Colonel who cannot be denied, and just for insurance, apparently heart is the more dominant, so we call upon the Ringyu who is renewed. We are strong enough in heart to almost entirely be secure against the curse. Power was stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. And I have increased my mastery of the glorious lore, which we call by its aspect a lantern. So we've got a Mantis Glimpse. Now, if I had erudition, I could move it up here. But in this case, we're going to double up our red secret. So in this case, that's going to need Grail. Locksmith's Secret could also use erudition, but certain words beg to be spoken. It is tempting to spend time in their consideration. Tempting, and perhaps useful. We won't spend money on the paints. I mean, it's tempting because it is a reputation-based. You know what? Let's roll the dice. All right, the investigation's underway. Okay, so fortunately, we didn't have a we didn't pick up the mystique, so let's keep talking about occult scraps. So that's, again, we're gonna try and basically bury them in false leads. Orchard of Lights. Sun in Splendor is the hour who once ruled the Mansis and was known to walk in the orchard before his terrible division. Sometimes his remnants walk here still. Sometimes I see the chilly radiance of the Menascate through the trees, or the chillier radiance of the sun in rags. Were they to come upon me, it might be my end, but to see them in the distance is a gift of insight. Okay. As always, we're just going to keep heading back to the White Door. And the real question now is, what's the best way for me to avoid the Suppression Bureau? This is work I can be proud of. With enough publicity, it will sell. Okay, so we knew that was coming. My recent work is considered significant. I may have earned a living from this, but nothing is certain. So more glimmering, one passion. So I think I'm up one mystique. Unfortunately, I'm also up a staleness, but we did make more money back, so in this case I kind of need to wait things out as far as the painting is concerned. The good news is I'm going to be able to throw a whole lot of passion at it, but I do need to wait to get rid of, or to get the notoriety that I'm trying to get rid of. What was this place? The door bore no sign. There were no windows. The walls were painted a rich violet. Rich now, even after the ravages of rain through the leaking... What was this place? The door bore no sign. There were no windows. The walls were painted a rich violet. Rich even now, after the ravages of rain through the leaking ceiling. A rotting chair has leather straps on the arms. The floor is porcelain and runneled. Sorry, I don't know if I ever actually read the description of... Oh yeah, no, we did. Sorry, I should be grabbing the glimmering. So this is a puzzle with missing pieces. I might find those pieces in the odd corners of scholarship. I'll probably take a passion and use that to upgrade the barber's warning as well. I don't really see a reason why we wouldn't. Okay, let's see what's coming up next. Okay, an affliction, so we should have vitality to heal ourselves. And there is a padlock cupboard in the wall. It does not long resist our strength. It contains instruments tipped with flint and glass, instruments one would not expect a surgeon to use. It contains other matters of more interest to us too. So the reference to flint, I mean, there's the glass garden, I don't really get a whole lot with that. Flint, of course, is one of the gods from stone, I believe is the term. So I don't know if there's anything that I would make from that, but as always, when you see those sorts of references, you take note. Okay, so we've got some books to read now, which is good. So The Locksmith's Dream, Trespasses, the third volume of Teresa Gallmer's examination of the parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. We've got Stained Gloves, so these are a Grail instrument. I'll stick that there. What uses have these known? What lessons might they teach my hands? Got an empty hospital as a location, so it's going to get a little crowded over here. I might need to move this around. Phantoms the neighbors stay, still walk the echoing halls here. If we take possession, of course, they will leave, or we'll turn them to our use. We have the Rose of Hypatia. Now that's going to require some translation. And finally, Rose Pearl Dust, which is a heart ingredient. So overall, we're feeling pretty good about that. So, important next step is to get rid of the notoriety. Now, what I'm going to do here... I thought I had a restlessness for some reason, but clearly I don't. We don't have a Season of Visions coming up, so I'm just going to let the fascination expire on its own. I would also kind of like to get rid of the hint, but I think I'm just going to let that expire too. So what I'm going to do here with the painting is I'm going to wait as long as I possibly can. Just, again, in the name of trying to get rid of the notoriety. It does also mean the mystique sort of runs down, but the aim here is just to keep the notoriety on the board, running out of time. Nah, I gotta do it. I recall my dream. This was the lodge of the This was the lodge of blue silk, flapping in the winds of the bounds at the Mansus edge, and here was its mistress, who welcomed me as she welcomes all travelers. Company is nice, she confided, but I still miss my Christopher. 10 years. 10 years and not enough, but we could not have been long together, not without touching each other. And you know what happens, or what occurs when a man lies with a long woman. Or perhaps you don't. I hope you don't. I won't tell you just in case. I'll give you a tiny gift. So, we'll go for the elusive Forgotten Chronicles. We're not quite ready to use the... Well, actually, let me think about the Explore verb. Is there something I would do here? I mean, I can preserve one of my summons. Do I want to get the percussivant more or the hint more? It's the percussivant is... I think the hint's the bigger liability with 2 fascination on the table, so let's just leave it. Leave it there. There it is. Is that it? So again, we're just waiting on this notoriety here for... We're running out the clock on the investigation. Actually, it probably could be using the Forgotten Chronicles to get even more locations, but it's clear that we're not going to be able to just knock the vaults one by one. At least not until we become a little bit better at... Oh no, this is tempting, because this experienced swindler would be able to get rid of evidence, but it's a little early for that, so now I understand. Oh wow, I got very lucky there. So unfortunately, this does mean that I'm not generating more mystique at the moment. Yeah, I completely fell asleep at the switch. Okay, well, there's another mystique for me to work with. I think we're gonna just talk about an occult scrap again. There's the trembling air, so that will turn into vitality if we need it. There's my Forgotten Chronicle. Last night I walked in the Orchard of Light. I plucked the fruit, which is always ripe, and consumed it in 2 bites. The taste is not to be forgotten. As I licked the glowing juices from my fingers, I saw a message carved in the bark of the tree. When I woke, I recorded that message, all I could remember, in my diary. So the one problem here is that I'm losing some cash, and I'm losing some cash in a way that's not getting me anything. So I want to be a little mindful of that. But in the meantime, let's work with the new books that I've got. So I've increased my mastery of the Succulent Lore, which we call by its aspect Grail. So normally I would want to use the Glimmering just to upgrade what I can. So the Barber's Warnings, the Megalesian Incantation up to the higher level. Actually, I guess that would allow me to do the very substantial Grail work. So it's tempting. Thing is that I always use the painting. No, we're going to hold on to that for now. Let's read the next volume of the Gallagher work. The 3rd volume of Teresa Gallagher's examination of the parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. In this volume, notoriously, Gallagher's prose begins to disintegrate, and it is not clear which dreams are in fact her own. So again, we'll watch the clock a little more closely on this one. I mean, it's nice that I got another minute off of the notoriety, but I don't exactly want to be repeating that. You can almost imagine that's the way that Davidson got. Did I write Abelson? I gotta double check that I've kept the name consistent. Anyways, Harold Davidson. You can imagine that's how he got caught the first time. Better not. I must be careful of the company I keep. So we'll keep searching the city with the hint. I'm gonna try and balance things out a little bit more. I don't think I will spend on the paints this time. I might have found somewhere unusual. Okay, so another season of sickness. This illness has damaged my health. I will need to rest before I'm fully recovered. We've got the one... Nope, we've got enough vitality to get us through. And we've got contentment coming up, so that means for the most part we're free of the fascination. No, actually, I think we're totally free of the fascination, if I get that right. Okay, the experienced swindler is definitely coming at the right time. Oh! Last night in the billowing blue of the lodge of the Sage Knight, I sat on velvet cushions and watched 2 dead contend with shining swords. They came with the place, said the woman who rules here now, the one who once called herself Gallagher. It's not the Sage Knight, if that's what you're wondering. He went higher in the Mansis, long before I came here. My attention has drifted. The swords sparkle like falling water. The dead move like dancers. Okay, so let's take the affliction and the vitality. All I need now is time. And the woman in the sand-colored robe has told me the stairways of the Mansis go ever up. Death is down. The mother of ants guards both directions with each of her heads, and so the passage must always be through a wound. I think the white door might be a wound. That's one reason the dead sometimes pass it. I think I have the other half of the secret now, and I hope my reader can put both halves together. So here we've got a wood whisper. And a glimmering. I mean, certainly no shortage of those. But let's take our Greek and translate the Rose of Hypatia. Marked with the tripled sign of the arcane contemplative order known as the Sisterhood of the Knot in Greek. So as far as most of the afflictions are concerned, we're doing all right. But that additional fascination might create a threat again. This is work I can be proud of. With enough publicity, it will sell. My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain, so I don't believe that got us any money. And in fact, it didn't really get us much for... Oh no, that's not true. We got 2 mystique out of it. And somehow, even more staleness. Alright, well, that's life. I'm going to run this as long as I can. Oh man, I was looking at the wrong timer. Okay. That's fine. We'll take the financial hit, because that just gives me another minute to let this notoriety run down. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I can do. Oh yes, so if I have a minute, that means... Oh no, but I don't have the Grail lore. Yep, so we'll leave it be. I'm definitely not going to do a service. That's generated a few too many instances of notoriety for me to feel comfortable doing that. So we're sort of back at my reserve of 5. I just want to be a little mindful of that moving forward. And I think with the talk verb, I still want to do my routine of talking about the occult scraps. Okay, season to suspicion doesn't really mean anything right now, and we will run around with a hint. So, in truth, I've actually gotten pretty lucky with this notoriety and not having things picked up. But I don't want to constantly test my luck. Okay, and the affliction. We've dealt with that. And the Rose of Hypatia, a volume of collected teachings of the Sisterhood of the Knot, that arcane contemplative order that existed in all histories, but in some was very powerful indeed. This is recorded by Hypatia and dedicated to Saint Nympha. Saint Nympha is described as not born, but cultivated. The sentience that became the saint, Hypatia indicates, inhabited a sinner's corpse in order to enable that sinner's redemption. Okay, 24 seconds before we do another painting. We're actually going to be able to do quite a bit of passion there, which is good for Mystique under normal circumstances. And a fortune teller, so has some moth, but not enough to get rid of evidence. Alright, once more with the passion. I guess I should pick an inspiration. We'll maybe preserve some of this glimmering. In this case, I want the longer-lived one. I think the likelihood of me using glimmering to upgrade something is fairly remote here, but we might be able to do something with the Mega Legion incantation. We'll see. Also, when Gallagher was referring to the 2 halves, I don't think Moth should be able to get you past the white door, but I should maybe double check. I feel like Winter should, but... The sick room grows close and stale, time to get up. Not all dead enter the mansis by the winter door. Not all dead enter the mansis at all. So our third whisper and words that walk. So we've read both of these. Although, come to think of it, did I... Yes, I think The Operation of the Declining Sun is the only one I don't think I've read. So this invokes, acknowledges, and welcomes the passage to silence. The rest of them I'm pretty sure we've read already. Well, I'll have occasion to read them on other times. So we're close to the end of our time together, but just given that I've had a couple of blunders already, I'm going to try and set up the start of the next kind of turn with I'll just try and set myself up because I think there's going to be a few days between now and when I record the next one. So we've gone through all of our books, and we're not going to be doing another expedition until we get rid of the attention of the Suppression Bureau. So what I want to do here is I'll move up the Megalesian Incantation. You may wonder, so what makes this one particularly special? Well, it's because I have Glimmering on the board right now, and I have a very substantial Grail commission. You can actually make a similar argument for a Mantis Glimpse, save for the fact that I don't have Erudition on the table at the moment. So if I had Erudition, through whatever, I'd be using that instead. So I will actually start that now because we have a minute just to prepare the... we have a minute to prepare the study. So the Great Mother remembers, certain works beg to be spoken. It is tempting to spend time in their consideration. Tempting and perhaps useful. So I'm actually going to try with this white door here. In my dreams I know the path through the white door, through the bounds, but the path is thronged with the dead who pass that way. I will need health to resist their chill. So I'm just a little curious with the Locksmith's Dream. Oop. Oh, nuts! Oh, wait, hang on. No, that's right. It's my desire. Oh. I gotta remember how I get a desire for this. Huh. Yes, I have... Yeah, I stumbled. Okay, I'll deal with that later because I have other things to worry about. But that's fine because I still want to get the apologies. I still want to get what I can through the white door anyway. And last but not least, I am gonna just run ahead with the painting. So essentially, I just want to prep the next kind of batch of creation of Mystique. This is something special. It may provoke a reaction. The recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain. It's actually not a bad little collection on its own right now. So we'll wait a few seconds. Trying not to leave too much to chance, so... Didn't think of inspiration, though. Let's take my contentment this time. Okay, that'll leave me in fairly good shape for the next session. So we're going to have a Season of Ambitions coming up. That should give me my restlessness. The fascination's going to decay on its own, so I don't need to worry about that anymore. We're sort of we're at enough mystique now that I should feel somewhat comfortable leaving the notoriety on the table. And of course, the great news here is that there's only 136 seconds left on it anyway. So again, I wanted to get a little bit more mystique, but there's going to be one that comes from the patron, and then there's going to be, the attempt to find a patron. There might be one that comes from this painting, and I don't know. I think if we have maybe 6 or more mystique on the table, we'll risk moving on the notoriety. And of course, once the investigation's done, that's going to mean that we're going to be able to follow up on our different runs to these locations. But all of that will be happening in the next week. Haven't had any technical problems yet, so it gives me a chance to thank you all for watching. Sorry I wasn't able to do that in the last episode. If you are enjoying the series or the video and you have not yet done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you could leave a like or a comment, or just otherwise leave an interaction, that definitely helps me get discovered. If you have to leave a dislike, you know, I'd love the comment to tell me why it was disliked at the end of 30 minutes. I guess it'd probably be wasting time, but one way or the other, I do appreciate all the comments. I do like seeing, seeing the news from people, and I hope you liked it. I will be back on Monday with another video. See you then.